Oh, yeah.
But it honestly is a big deal.
Yeah.
Did my I taught eighth grade, but eighth graders are like, they're like, I don't even know why you're talking to me, I don't even need you. So I loved them, I counseled them, but I didn't wanna teach them anymore, I taught them 1 year. But 6 and 7 years old.
In my head, when I left the house this morning.
Y'all better get on this.
I realized that what I planned in my head was Casey and I was actually at home.
Are you, well, she's gonna talk. Is your by you?
And then I called Will to see what he said, and he had the
I know. No, I'm gonna go into the clean room at her house. So anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember when I got there, he was like,
No,
I know. First day is.
when I got there, he was saying, oh my God,
I get a.
Don't you give a kiss for me?
Maybe tomorrow.
I thought you meant she was coming.
They were gonna do a 6-minute walk.
yeah.
I would feel so good. She could tell her you don't have another one. And so she could decide. How did it?
It's all right. It was coming, good. Pretty. I was just busy, but it was good.
No, she's not feeling.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I just because of all my dog.
We got to put your phone in a little magnet holder too? Okay, it is Monday, August 11th, 6:01 p.m. We're going to call this meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, Ms. Hoffman, would you mind leading us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and we're thankful for all the many blessings that you've given us. As we look ahead to this new school year, we're thankful for new beginnings, and we ask that you be with us and help us to look to you for guidance and comfort for this coming year. We ask for wisdom and strength to navigate the challenges before us and help us to trust in your plans and seek your will in all that we do. We ask that you give us perseverance to work diligently and the wisdom to make sound decisions, and may those decisions be a reflection of our desire to honor and serve you. We're thankful for all of those that are willing to serve in our district. We thank you for the time and dedication that they pour into the students and to help them to be successful. Lord, we feel your presence in our community and we thank you. Please be with us as we go throughout this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Welcome back, everyone. I hope y'all had a wonderful day. You know, we had a little bit of a hiccup at the high school, but otherwise it sounds like everything went pretty well. So it was good for y'all. We'll have a roll call, starting off with Ms. Corson.
Nicole Corson, board member. Virginia Heath, board member.
Ray Watson, secretary. Charles Guzan, president.
Jason Sneed, Vice President.
Amy Hoffman, board member.
Adrian Marino, Board Member.
All right, everyone's present, that establishes a quorum. We need an acceptance of the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we accept the agenda.
Jason Lee made the motion to accept the agenda,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hoffman, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right, approval of minutes from July 22nd of 2025.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from July 22nd, 25.
Ray Watson made a motion to approve the minutes from July 22nd, 2025.
I'll second.
Seconded by
Either one.
Jason Sneed, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Presentations. Mr. Southern.
All right, I want to recognize a few people tonight, some of the admin team. One of the things that I don't do a very good job of is bragging on the folks that are closest to me, and that's something I've got to work on. And so, there's 4 people I want to brag on tonight who've done an exceptional job. And the first person is Terrible Tamara Harrison. So Tamara, when I'm mad at her, it's terrible. When I'm happy with her, it's terrific. Tamara has done an exceptional job of working with the budget this year. This has been a very trying year as far as budgets go because there were so many changes to the formula. There were so many things coming out. There was so much confusion. And we were working very closely together trying to figure everything out, what the state wanted, and the information that came out late. We didn't get it till right at the start of July. To give you an idea, it's a 2 to 3 month process to really get the budget right. Normally it comes in about May. And so it was very much a challenging time for her, and especially with me because I'd come in every 3 minutes and say, change this and walk out, and change this and walk out. And so the fact that Tamara did not kill me over the course of the last month, is one of the reasons why she is Employee of the Month. So congratulations. All right, Kim Estes. Kim Estes is our Director of Technology. Kim goes above and beyond. I don't know anything about technology, and you know, Miss Lee just shaking her head, yes. I know nothing about technology, and I don't know how the heck we hired Kim Estes, but I am really glad we did, because Kim is absolutely the best technology director I've ever seen in 29 years. She is excellent with the teachers. She's always willing to help out. She's always very positive. She has been a tremendous asset to this district. And she always goes above and beyond. And a prime example of that is she walks in my door and says, hey, I just wrote a grant. Okay, that's great. A $500,000 grant. That's even better. And she said, I wrote it for safety and security. Well, that's not really in her wheelhouse. She's not really over safety and security. But Kim's type of person, if she sees something she thinks is going to help the district, she's going to do it. She's not even going to laugh sometimes. She's just going to do it. And so we're hoping we get this grant. But again, it gives you an idea about Kim, how she goes above and beyond all the time, and she's always wanting to help out wherever it may be. So Kim, we were very fortunate to have you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Amber Seeley. Amber Seeley is one of my favorite people to pick on. And Amber is, we know, an exceptional principal. And when I talked to her about taking over intermediate school, she did not hesitate. She said absolutely, and has worked tremendously hard. And you know, I said this in an email the other day. If you have a principal who's willing to start painting the hallways or painting the offices, how dedicated do you think she is to making that school the best place that it can possibly be? Okay, Amber is an incredibly hard worker. She's tough. She's fair, and she is, again, exceptional at what she does. So, Amber, we're very fortunate to have you. Thank you.
Shout out to Jennifer's husband too, because her and her husband were up there most nights that I was. Thank you.
Last person is Carrie Ward. Carrie has became our Director of Operations in June, and if anybody has had baptism by fire, it's Carrie Ward, because operations has been a struggle this year. He has not been fully staffed all year in the maintenance department. And then we all know the issues we've had trying to find bus drivers, which, by the way, we hired a bus driver Thursday. She starts tomorrow. We're fully staffed bus drivers, okay? Major accomplishment for the ISD. And so, anyway, Kerry has done an excellent job. He has worked like a dog, and that's what he's doing right now. And so, anyway, Kerry, we're very fortunate to have him. He is very conscientious, works very hard, keeps me in the loop at all times. And so, Kerry does a great job. So, anyway, nice job, Kerry.
Okay. All right, Ms. Leach, presentation of the teacher incentive allotment update.
You will be getting, updates from us as things move along with the teacher incentive allotment that we are working towards, and so this is just a little recap and to tell you where we are in the process now. TIA again is, from the state. It's to help, our teachers earn a higher income while remaining in the classroom. Some of these are TEA slides and some are Whitney ISD slides. So the way TIA works is we have the three levels of distinction that we talked about. The state gives the range from $3,000 to $32,000 for the additional funding for the teachers. It's supposed to help us with hard to staff positions, and I've told the campuses now every position in the state of Texas is a hard to staff position. 90% of the funds go to teachers, and once the teacher designates, they have that designation for 5 years. They base the amounts that we're going to get from our socioeconomic status, and if you're a rural district, you get more allotted as well. And so these are the ranges for each level from the state, and these are our school amounts that our teachers could earn at each level based on those things. So when we're pushing for the cafeteria forms to be turned in, all of those determine where we land with all of this. The higher your SES status percentage for the socioeconomic status, the more money that we can earn. In 23-24, these were TEA's numbers of districts and teachers who were getting money. I don't remember the amount. I was going to look it up for this presentation, but TEA put a ton of money into TIA this year with the legislation that came around. There are 3 major components. You have your eligible assignments of teachers and the campuses. We have to look at teacher performance data and their compensation plan. So there's a 3-year approval process. This last year, you heard from me, Melissa, Kendra, and I are our TIA lead, but we also had a district committee where we've got teachers and staff from each campus. And so we worked on that pre-application and the system application this year. We were approved, and so we are starting year 2, data capture year. And after this year's over, year 3 will be data submission. We had to choose, as we made our plan, and we did this together with our committee, which student growth measure we were going to use to help us track our student growth to submit. And all of the data that we submit goes to Texas Tech University to work in conjunction with TEA. Our district chose the pre and post test, so we will have tests at the beginning and at the end of the year, and we will track student growth throughout all. That's the one that most districts in the state go with. Why did we choose TIA? It does align with our district and system goals. These are some slides that TEA sent on things that TIA was designed for. We chose it to help us recruit, retain, and reward teachers, but also our whole goal, our mission is for student growth and school improvement. And so this will help us reach our goals for those 2 areas. And here's some more specific. I've already shared with you the amounts that our teachers, based on our latest data, would receive, and that will update every year based on our numbers. We have to choose which teacher performance rubric we will use, and we've been using T-TEST, that's the state rubric, and we will continue to use that to evaluate our teachers. There are a few things that changes. We did not used to have to do scored walkthroughs. You could choose to do scored walkthroughs or not. We have to have 2 scored walkthroughs with our plan and 1 scored formal observation for teachers that are going to designate. There are 4 domains when you're looking at T-tests. 2 and 3 are the domains that are scored that get submitted for the teacher observation data. We store all of our data in DMAC. That's nothing new. Teachers do their goals there with their principals, and we will track all of our information there. And in our district plan for observations, it's always been where you've been here. You could do for 3 years, at least 3 years with good enough performance ratings, you could go every other year. If you are under TIA, you have to be observed yearly, so that is one of the changes that we have made sure our teachers knew. So this is what everybody, all the teachers wanna know, who is it that can be eligible this year? We can't put everybody in all at the same time. When we went for our planning, they advised that we use the areas where we already have student growth measures in place here. And so these are the areas where we do have student growth. It is quite a few of the STAR exams, but it's not all of them. And the reason why is because we do take third grade STAR test, but there's no test before it, so there's no growth measure with third grade. It's the same thing with like an 8th grade biology test. There is a freshman biology test. There's an 8th grade science test, but it's not comparable, so there's not a growth measure that goes in front of it. And so all of these have the growth measures. We will take this previous year STAR test that we just took in the spring, results back, and we will compare the growth that the students make to this current year spring STAR test. We will be tracking that all year long to see. That's the data that will get sent to the state. We also have built in where we purchased the MAP product from NWEA. It has growth measures in it where we'll do some benchmarking there, and it correlates with the transition tables with TEA. So if the MAP test will give projected growth and where the students are, and we will be able to track the campuses, the teachers, the principals, and the students as well will know where they start, and we can start celebrating student growth, and the kids can be a part of that process as well. And then this K through 2 RLA, we've already been using M-Class beginning of the year and end of year, and we will continue to use that. It was a growth measure that's already here. That right there is what I just explained to you with the M-Class and the STAR. The funds have to be spent, 90% to designated teachers and 10% for district use. In our plan, I copied this straight from our plan, we had to explain how we will use our 10%. And so Tamara and Tanya, so it has a whole lot to do with teams and with payroll, so we've got that planned out because there are district payroll fees and benefits that have to come off of that 10% when we do TIA. And we can also use that to purchase like our map to help us do that from year to year. So. Here's a more specific timeline. In April, we submitted our application. We received acceptance in August of 25, and we were really proud about that because we were sitting in the room with some others who did not get accepted the first round. They were having to resubmit. And so sometimes if you aim too high, you don't get accepted. And so we took their recommendation and it worked. So now this year, it's data capture year. In October of next year, we submit the data from this year. And then we get system approval if the teachers designate that we turn in. Not until that August do the paychecks come. So we're hoping that in August of 2027, we are awarding teachers that we've captured data on here checks for the work that came from there. So each year, it's a cycle. We'll add more teachers next year with our plan. And so every year will be a data capture year from here on out as we add more teacher groups to that plan. That's all. Any questions?
How many teachers, potentially could be eligible for that approximately? Do you have those numbers, like out of those?
Oh, from those?
Yeah.
Was it like
Just, I'm curious, I could call.
20? Wow, I think there's like 20.
I think there's 6 on our campus.
Well, and here's the thing also, in our plan, we put that teachers have to be certified, fully certified to be eligible. And so we've gone through and we've started making that list, and we're gonna work to see and make sure they hit the criteria to be eligible. But we're also working on, if we have ones who are, if you're a forward-facing person, so it may be a teacher who has a pull-out and teaches them as well, which one of those fall under there too, where they may not be their core teacher, but another teacher who's working with them as well. And so we are still going month by month to Region 12 for training as we get this going. And so we, are going to hold a meeting after we get that completely finalized with all of those teachers to let them know, and then I can update you guys as soon as we get that list ready, so. Anybody else? Okay, it won't be the last you hear of me on there.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
District accountability.
Small bit.
Do what?
I think this.
My name's on there.
You're not lucky on here.
Amy, here. As you know, this time of the year is, the time for us to start talking about accountability. And also, those of you who have been in education, a while know that there are tons of accountability measures in the state of Texas. Tonight, we're gonna talk about academic accountability. Academic accountability is the annual rating that the public school districts, your charters, and then your campuses get. Most of the time you hear the A through F system. That's what this system is. That's the academic accountability. Your ratings are based on performance for state tests for STAR, for graduation rates, for college, career, military readiness, and there are 3 different categories when you're talking the academic accountability. Those ratings come in student achievement, school progress, and the last one is closing the achievement gaps. That's your federal accountability piece. And so tonight we're going to be talking to y'all about the ratings. You may remember that I've shared with you before that the 2024 accountability ratings have been held up in a lawsuit. Well, they now have been released to be released. They've been released from the lawsuit. So they and our 2025 ratings will be coming out this week. So the 13th, they will be released to us. And then on the 15th, they will go out to the public. So tonight we're going to talk about everything, but they're preliminary results because we don't have in stone what our results are. So all the campuses are here tonight to talk to you about their campus. So we're going to start with Whitney Elementary.
Okay. So obviously our pre-K through 2nd grade students do not take the STAR test, but our work down there at the elementary directly impacts the state accountability through the foundational learning of the students at Whitney Elementary. So this summer our leadership team got together and came up with some goals for the year, and the goals on the next slide are the ones that will directly impact Domain 3, closing the gaps, and Domain 1 for student achievement. Okay, so in early literacy development, building strong phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. This aligns with making sure that all of our teachers have attended the Reading Academy. I'm in it as well. And then ensuring that students exit 2nd grade and head to the intermediate reading on or above grade level. To do this, we'll use progress monitoring such as MClass, and now we have NWEA map testing to guide our interventions. We set a goal for attendance to maintain a campus attendance rate of 96% or higher by the end of the year, with targeted support for students who fall below the 90%. And then specific targeted interventions, which is MTSS, identify and close early academic gaps before 3rd grade, and specifically monitor our subgroup progress, our EB students, SPED, economically disadvantaged, etc., to support that Domain 3 growth. And then of course family engagement, and we partnered with the Intermediate for our family engagement activities this year. Continue to educate families on how to support their early learning at home, and just build those strong partnerships to increase student success and improve attendance and behavior across campus.
Hey, the Intermediate, our primary focus is going to be on student growth. we know where we're at, and we've got, definitely some work to do, in domain, 2A and domain 3, trying to close those gaps. We're committed to ensuring those students have access. Of course, we fixed the curriculum with the, moving to Bluebonnet, reading and math. And we're gonna closely monitor that progress. We've got targeted supports to maintain and improve performance levels. And again, trying not to lose points from students that may decline in score. So we really have been looking at that data and working toward that. The teachers, we're gonna identify those target areas, of course, using the NWEA MAP assessments, IXL, and small group interventions. We've got an MTSS intervention team. We're going to be closely monitoring student progress, the STAR scores, and all the things with that. We adjusted our master schedule to maximize instructional time, and then the teachers have provided a daily PLC time so that we are going through that curriculum. We are making sure that we're ready for lessons, and it'll also give them time to review the student data. We built in a skills class as well to whether get an extra, because that curriculum's pretty rigorous, that we, it kind of fills the time, and so we weren't able to really find some of that small group time. They will have that there. We've got some veteran teachers in those spots to work on things where we felt like we lost points last year, our constructive responses, some of those things. And just work with those reading skills. Even I think some of our reading skills affected our math as well, just being able to read the problems, figuring out what it's asking. So those teachers will be working with that as well. And then of course getting just our daily attendance. We started that on motivating kids today. We're meeting with each group. It's funny, they're coming from elementary, so they said a grade level at a time. I was like, no, oh no, 2 at a time is all I can handle, no. Yeah, well, it's definitely different than starting with pre-K and kindergartners, so they went very well today. So we're trying to really work on that family and student attitude too about school and just doing our best on all those things, even on STAR, whether we, really love it or not.
Hello, y'all. All right, so to start with, I think we know where we are, and something as I really started to dig into the scores, we noticed, especially for domain 2A, we feel really confident that we can make some good ground here, because as I was looking through scores, we had a lot of kids that kind of did a backslide this year, and from an improvement standpoint, that's all right. I mean, moving forward, it's not all right that we're here, but we can make some ground there, and these two, 2A and domain 3, kind of correlate with each other. So if we can gain some ground in domain 2A, we feel really confident that we'll gain good ground in domain 3 as well. So overall campus grade 68, preliminary obviously. We're going to focus largely, all 3 of the domains, the things that we're going to do, we'll hit on those, but domain 2A and domain 3, we're going to really focus in on those and gain some good ground. So pretty excited about that. Attendance is just a pretty standard goal. We always want it to be 96 or above, and then anybody below 90%, we're really going to hit on being there. We had really good class meetings at Meet the Teacher. A lot of parents came, a lot of kids were there. I feel really good about the conversations that we had. We talked about the 4-day week and how attendance is even more important in the 4-day week than it is normally. It's always important, but with the 4-day week, it's really, really important that they're there every day. Overall strategies for growth, CIT period, we're going to utilize the IXL, and we'll utilize it in 2 ways. We'll utilize it in CIT to where the kids will take a diagnostic test in the 4 core areas, and then it builds a plan for them, and they can work through it at their own pace for enrichment or targeted intervention. And then we will also use it with small group instruction in the core classes to where it can be more targeted by the teacher as they figure out what they need and what they not need based on the results of NWA and things like that we take throughout the year. So that'll be another way. We'll use STAR, NWA, IXL data to guide our instruction and intervention. Something that I think will help us a lot, just through conversations with the teachers at the middle school. RTI and NTSS seem like a kind of a new concept to some of them. So I think as we utilize some of those strategies, we'll be able to gain some ground with our kids. And then our staff will be implementing some classroom management techniques
that promote an educational environment that's conducive to learning, and it'll keep everybody on the same page. I think a lot more consistency. The kids, I think, will kind of buy in, and kids know what they need to do. So we just have to be there to keep them at that level or above, so. Goals, domain 1, by improving the educational environment, implementing consistent expectations, we'll achieve a minimum score of 80%. I feel it's really important for us to set a number, so we know where we want to be, and we set them kind of lofty compared to where we are, but we want something to shoot for and work for. So domain 2, by implementing consistent target intervention, we'll achieve a minimum score of 70%. This is somewhere I think we can really surprise people with in this area, because I think we have a really good opportunity to grow from where we currently stand. Domain 2B, we just want to be equal to or above when we're compared to the state levels. And then domain 3, utilize targeted intervention in small group to really promote growth in our struggling sub-pops and give us the opportunity in the classroom and then in our CIT period to really work on catching some of those groups up and giving them an extra opportunity to gain the knowledge that they need to. So we feel really good about some of the things that we're going to do and where we are, and teachers are excited and the kids seem excited. Today was a good day, so excited about that. I'm sorry, stole your thunder there.
Hi guys. Okay, so our preliminary APF summary is there. We predict to be an overall A, and so you know, obviously you think, well, what are you gonna do then? We still have a lot of work to do. I thought that we were gonna have some slides that had a little more specific scores. Every test was very much in line with region and state as far at each performance level, but we're still not there. We want to be above that. Our biggest focus obviously is domain 2A. My teachers from the middle school and high school got both tired of hearing me say growth is the best place to impact student achievement, and it is. That's the best thing we can do. And actually that domain 2A score we think on 2024 was probably about a 53, and on 2025 a 69. So it's coming up, just maybe not as fast as we want to see it. So obviously growth is our focus. We want to see them growing year to year, and like Ms. Seeley talked about, performance droppers are definitely losing us points. So if they're hitting approaches and then going down to did not meet, or hitting meets and going down to approaches, those are performance droppers and they're taking points away from us. We really have a spot to hit on is those kids who come in from 8th grade at master's level, or come from English 1 at master's level and then drop to meets, which meets is grade level. It's not terrible, but that's a performance dropper, and that's looked at as obviously the opposite of growth. So especially we have the 8th grade teachers are really rocking on RLA, and we have a good group come in at masters each year. And then that English 1 essay is a little tougher, a little different type of writing, and so we have some of those masters kids drop. So we've already started having those conversations about keeping those kids that are at masters, so they earn that growth that they deserve. We still are focusing on student achievement as a whole. Like I said, we're right in line with region and state, but we really want to see those meets and masters scores especially coming up, because we don't want to say our kids are passing below grade level. We want them passing on or above grade level. We're going to use the new product, NWA Maps. We still have IXL, and we're going to be really encouraging teachers more to use that small group intervention. A lot of times they think of that as a thing for the younger grades, but it's powerful. And we've talked a lot in our pre-service training about how we can't just deliver one size fits all. We've got to look at where those kids are and meet them there and pull them to where we need to be. And the only way to do that is to get into some smaller groups. We are super excited about having our Monday PLC time where we can really dig into the data and use it a little bit more. I think historically our high school teachers have been a little bit afraid of getting into the data and really seeing how they can use it for their good. They've been a little misled by DMAT, but we're going to fix that.
last, what's your last?
Any questions?
Oh, wait, Ms. Leach wanted to say something.
You've heard a lot of common things about like with the growth being our main piece, and one of the things that we've done as a district is we've gone from K through 12 with some of the same products. The IXL is an intervention piece and a resource that we're gonna use K through 12, so there's consistency across the district. The same thing with the maps. That way the kids and the students from year to year, we can see that progress from kids as they go all the way through here in the district. I think that growth piece is gonna start to hit the teachers a little bit more, because the only way to designate for TIA is if your students show growth. Then, because if your students aren't showing growth, no matter how high you might be rated on a teacher observation, they will not designate. So that, TIA is gonna be a big piece with that one too. The other thing I do wanna mention is that we did the K through 5 Bluebonnet and RLA and math last year, and now this year we've moved, to 6 through 8 for the Bluebonnet and math. And so that will continue to be a curriculum that, that we'll see, and the rigor's higher. And so our middle school is using that to shred the math, and we're hoping to see some return on that as well. Okay.
And I just wanted to say, and I was gonna mention that too, so I'm glad you did, about the curriculum, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about growth very quickly. Growth is a whole different mindset of looking at accountability than when, like, I was in school. When I was in school, we looked at a kid that failed, no matter what they failed, trying to get them to pass it. Growth is a whole different mindset. Growth is where if we can get a student to score exactly the same this upcoming year that they did this year, we can get some growth points. So that's really a better way of looking at it, because sometimes it's really daunting trying to get a kid that scored a 50 to try to get them up to a C or a B or an A. That's, as long as they can score exactly the same in that same area, and in fact now they've broken it into a high and low, we get some points for them, and more importantly, they get some points for themselves because they're scoring about the same at a higher level, at a harder curriculum. So that's why growth truly is the way to get our kids what they need to keep going forward and get what they need to be successful in school and on. So that's really why you heard everybody say growth. That is domain 2, that is part of domain 3. And that's a whole different way of looking at accountability. And that's one good thing that has come in the last few years, accountability wise, because it's now where we can really learn how to play that game, and more importantly, how to get our kids what they need to be. So, all right, that's all we have for y'all. Do y'all have any questions?
One thing real quickly. So the scores at the intermediate and middle school, you know, we were not surprised by that at all. Amy and I have talked about that quite a bit before, during the course of the year, and that's why moves were made. But what I will say is, you know, I've told you all a million times, the most important people in the district are the principals. They're the ones that are gonna hire the right teachers, they're gonna set the curriculum, they're gonna do all the things, they're gonna attract teachers, that kind of stuff. And so we're very fortunate that I think this year probably have the 4 best principals I've ever had as a superintendent. And so if anybody can get that campus turned around the intermediate school, it's Amber. I told Amber that, and I have all the faith in the world in Amber. It's gonna be fine. Give her time, let her do her thing, it's gonna be fine, okay? Chad had a blue ribbon school at his last district, okay? And so he obviously knows that's a major accomplishment. And so we've got some good people in the right spots, and Amanda does a really good job of working with Amber, and Kendra is really good too. So, anyway, it's the right people in the right spots. It's a little bit what I talked about on Monday, is things are kind of lining up where we want them to. And so, when you give them time, be supportive, but I have no question that it's gonna be all right. Now it's all said and done. So, do y'all have any questions at all?
No. Okay. All right. Do we have public comments? All right, I'm gonna read this before every public comment. The public comment agenda item. During board meetings each month, the Whitney ISD Board of Trustees schedules public comment. This is an opportunity for residents of the district, parents, employees, and other individuals to participate openly in board meetings. The Time limit, each person is limited to a 3-minute presentation. Acceptable comments, in addition to public comment, individuals will be allowed to comment on agenda items. These comments will also be limited to 3 minutes. Any direct criticism of a specific employee is prohibited and will be considered separately as provided in board policy. Board response, trustees will not deliberate or make decisions about information provided in public comment. The item may be passed on to district administrators or placed on the agenda for consideration at a future board meeting. And today we have Amy Teal for public comment on the Chromebook contest and some meeting notices.
Yes, good evening, guys. I would love to see the ISD putting more notice about these meetings, utilizing the Facebook page. So I had mentioned that before. It'd be great to see that happening again. I'm also here to give public voice to ongoing concerns about Whitney ISD's now allegedly canceled Chromebook giveaway, previously described as a raffle tied to USDA meal form submissions. Under the Texas Occupations Code, a raffle includes any prize awarded by chance that requires something of value to enter. That value was a federal meal form used to determine funding. While the campaign has allegedly been suspended, the legal violation remains. School districts are explicitly prohibited from conducting raffles under state law, local policy, and local policy echoes that. No board vote approved the campaign. No minutes documented the giveaway. The Chromebooks, described as donated, were never formally accepted by the board. If not properly accepted or inventoried, they may still be instructional assets. Local board policy demands oversight of technology distribution. There's no publicly accessible record of that either. The superintendent acknowledged that USDA meal forms impact funding. That affirms motive. Apparently, similar tactics have occurred here in Whitney for years, with local campuses making USDA form submission a requirement for schedule access. That's coercion, and it violates USDA's rules on voluntary participation. These practices don't just breach ethics, they jeopardize funding. Whitney ISD receives approximately $295,000 annually from the USDA meal program. That money is contingent on compliance. Inducement and coercion could trigger audits, sanctions, or funding suspension. That risk is now real. The USDA Office of Inspector General could be notified and investigations could be a real possibility. Other districts avoid these pitfalls. Hillsborough ISD uses the community eligibility provision, which offers free meals without collecting individual forms. It protects privacy, preserves dignity, and eliminates the entire risk profile. So even though the raffle has now been canceled, we urge the board not to treat this as resolved. And tonight we ask the board to disclose the source, acceptance, and tracking of the Chromebooks, end incentive-based outreach tied to federal forms, and formally evaluate CEP as the long-term compliance solution. And you do have the legal ability to address matters of fact that is not considered deliberation. Thanks.
Okay, Ray, property bid.
Let's do that. All right. It's a minimal property bid. Property ID 145-980-24107 Stonewood Drive. We got the minimal bid of $1,300, ma'am.
That is correct. That was the minimum bid this one, so it's a good bid.
It's a good bid.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, need a motion for
I'll
that
make a
property?
motion, we accept the bid as presented.
Jason Sneed made a motion to accept the property bid as presented.
I'll second.
Seconded by AJ Marino, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
No, yep. Submit the bid, minimum bid, $965.32 for White Bluff, lot 25. Or, sorry, number 25, lot 12. It is the minimum bid at this time.
Yes, sir. That was the minimum bid at the time. It was struck off to us December the 3rd of 2024.
Okay. Okay, need a motion for that
I
property?
make a motion, we approve this bid.
Ray Watson made a motion to approve that property bid,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Corson, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
I got two.
Oh, no, that's all there.
Okay, sorry.
Is that
Yes,
right?
that's it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, consider take possible action to approve retainer fee for our lawyers, Aquabon, Mordo, Hanson, Powell, and Munoz PC for the 25-26 school year. Any questions or comments on this? Pretty much standard each year, what we do. Nothing? All right, need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the retainer fee for our attorneys.
Jason Sneed made the motion to approve the retainer fee for Aquabon, Mordo, Hanson, Powell, Munoz for the 25-26 school year.
I'll say.
Seconded by AJ Marino, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Consider take possible action to approve TASB property, auto, unemployment, and workers' compensation for 25-26 school year. Questions or comments, all right? About that?
We don't go over it quick, Denise.
Yeah, on there was a 56,256 difference on the property, value. That is because they came and did an audit this year, and with that, the property values went up, and so that's why there was a little bit up on that. They also said that there was a bill passed on the, school liability, due to sexual conduct, and that one went up as well, due to the.
Okay, anybody have any questions on that? No, any motion?
Make a motion, we approve the tax property, auto, employment, and workers' compensation for 25-26 school year.
Ray Watson made the motion to approve TASB property, unemployment, workers' compensation, and auto for 25-26 school year, seconded by
I'll second.
Jason Sneed, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Consider take possible action to approve the 25-26 employee compensation package.
So I put in there all our changes to our scales, ranges. I think I told you I changed the maintenance to a range and that's something we did differently. Couple things on stipends I need to go over because I found a couple mistakes and some changes we need to make. So one of the things on varsity cheer, we had a stipend of $2,500 for each sponsor, okay? Well, as we went through and looked at the stipends and everything, we got to know some drill team had a $2,500 stipend, but they split the $2,500 stipend between 2 sponsors. And so didn't think that was real fair. And so we changed that up to where each one of those both those sponsors got full $2,500 too, okay? Felt like we probably need to bump varsity cheer up a little bit, so we go from 2,500 to 3,000 on that. There was a mistake on middle school cheer, it should be 2,000, not 2,500, okay? We forgot to add National Honor Society. That's one we needed to add, put 200 on that. E-sports went down from 2 to 1,500, and student council went up from 1,000 to 1,500. So, our stipends, we talk about this, was like all over the place, crazy. And so, we've got it pretty much under control. I'm not gonna tell you that we are 100% accurate, we're good, and doing this things wrong, but we're 90-95%. We've fixed a lot of the issues. We did add the bus driving stipend for coaches and also for extracurricular folks. So like, for example, Mr. Acevedo, who's our assistant band director, he has his CDL, he drives after games, those sorts of things, competitions. He will get that $2,000 stipend as well. So it's not strictly just coaches who'll get that. It's anybody, any kind of extracurricular sponsor who has their CDL will get that $2,000 stipend. And I did talk to everyone Thursday when I went through all the compensation stuff. So one of the things I told them, that stipend, is I'm gonna target that really hard over the course of the next few years to get that up and try to encourage to get these folks to get their CDLs. Right now, we have no girls coaches who have their CDLs, and only 4 boys coaches who have their CDLs. And so we're trying to work through that.
Carissa?
Well, I mean, she's cheer, so, and she will get that stipend. So, anyway, anybody have any questions about that at all?
So when we make this motion, we make it including those changes?
Yeah, just say including the changes.
Okay.
All right, any other questions about that?
I'll make a motion, we approve the 25-26 employee compensation packages with changes.
Ray Watson made a motion to approve the 25-26 employee compensation package with changes.
Second.
Seconded by Jason Sneed, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Consider and take possible action to approve budget amendments. Anybody got questions about that? Comments?
You got anything?
No, not unless they have questions on it.
Just a function change.
Yes.
Okay, need a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the, budget amendment.
Jason Sneed made a motion to approve the budget amendment.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Ray Watson, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right, superintendent's report.
So I'm gonna kind of jump around. Enrollment, we have in there at 1454, okay? But today, we went through, it came out at 1361. Our budget, in order to make the 93% ADA, it needs to be at 1398, okay? So we're below that. But I don't worry about enrollment right now because it bounces all over the place. And really, not until September, mid-September, do we really start worrying about it, because we're gonna have a lot of kids come back and enroll, we're gonna have kids out and that sort of stuff. So, concern, yeah, a little bit, but not overly concerned at this moment. We'll see what happens. We will enroll more kids. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Because of that, one of the things, I'm not going to do is right when September 1 hits, that new budget comes in, we can take off and start going doing stuff, right? You know, we've got the lift, we got the truck, we got a number of things in there we can do, right? Well, I'm gonna wait a little bit and see exactly where this all plays out before we decide to go and take off and do some things, okay? So, original plan was if we were sitting there at 1457, as soon as September 1 hit, bang, we're going. But I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch and see where this all hits, give it a little time for the dust settle. And then if we have to come back and make adjustments to the budget and cut that stuff, we know where we can cut it at. But it's so, just understand that. As far as the budget update goes, we are pretty much done. I can't think of really anything other than these little stipend changes that we need to do. It's pretty much set, it's balanced, it's ready really to go for y'all's approval. I don't know if anybody had any issues that we need to look at or any more, but the only thing I can think we may need to change is that lift. We're a little bit low on that one.
I've already fixed that.
Well, there you go. Great, anyway.
And that's the 28th, correct? That's our budget.
That is the
Yes,
28th?
28th.
Yeah, 28th. Yeah, 28th. Okay. Anybody have any questions about the other stuff at all, or any questions in general?
No, I just wanna say thank y'all. I know y'all worked really hard at this, and he's kept us informed, about everything, and it's much appreciated, both of y'all. I know.
Especially for the updates along the way.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
Okay. All right, is that all you got? Anything?
That's all I got.
Okay, all right, well, it is now 6:51, Monday, August 11th, we're going to close session. Thank y'all.
Okay, so now we leave the room, we go into executive session, and we wait for them to call.
Free access to
I will have to look at that now.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for everything you did for the great.
I want to have your letters. Yeah, you're good to do all that because they're going to put it on there. There's certain letters that I'll give it a show. So I keep it in your file and then you keep it. And then this way, if somebody comes in and says, hey, there we go. So, but I'll get all those when we do the meeting. I'll have it together.
Good to have you here.
Thank you, I'm glad to be here.
That was long.
See y'all.
It was long.
It'll be a good time.
That's not very interesting.
All right.
Here we go.
That's sweet boy. Can you say bye? Okay, let me have this one last one.
So I save it for your time.
Yes.
Whatever.
Give me today.
Did you have a good day? Did y'all have a good day? Awesome. Riley Joy had the best day.
Me and Tim said hamburger meat out before we came up here. Go get these.
Forget that I'm right here, like, I don't have to drive around.
Yeah.
No, oh, no, I know the things are.
I forgot I walked out. Where did you leave off?
Okay, I go this way, my car's.
That's it. Alrighty. I'll call you tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like one little meeting at 10 o'clock, but otherwise I'm in my office trying to catch up. If I'm not in my office, I'm right down this hallway trying to get the, intermediate stuff in the carts and out the door, so.
think
I
my
got
little
my cell phone,
Yeah,
right? Do you have my cell
yeah,
phone?
I
Yeah,
got
just text me, like, where are you?
Yeah, and, yeah, because it won't be nothing. We'll figure out, because depending on when we go to high school.
Right, yeah. You might. Yeah, well, come see me tomorrow's a good day, because all I'm doing is stacking her laptops in carts.
That'll work.
And all my skills are on themselves. So they're not separated out.
Yes.
Okay, can you send me a list of names? If
Yeah.
you send me a list of names, we'll pull those.
Okay.
And those will go.
Oh, you're fine.
Inspector, yeah. Because I think they have one of those little
Bye-bye.
They might, I think they do, I think they take care of life skills separately. I'm trying to make sure we take care of all the sped so that it works best for that teacher and what they're doing with their kids.
Okay, well, it hit me that I was like,
Well, and I have
that's
extra
part of
cards
that.
this year because 7th and 8th grade are taking home. So if I
Okay.
need to give them one of their own, I
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
It just worked out this year, so I have extra.
It's just one of those moments I got home and I was like,
Well, girl, with your campus, I went from using 14 cards to having to scrounge 18. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, let me
Yeah.
go. And we just looked out that I had all the same cards. I had just 18 of them. I was like, thank you.
Okay, well, I
But-
appreciate it.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
And part of the reason it's taking so long is some of those cards are older and all the chargers have been taken out, so we have to rewire the whole cart.
Right.
But I've got 2 girls coming in from my summer crew, and they're gonna help me tomorrow and Wednesday, and we're gonna get it done.
I love it. Thank you.
Did Amy go through, did you see?
Her attender went down toward her office.
Did they?
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Stay home. Yeah,
I can always just have it up.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, hey, don't break.
Yeah, if you don't mind, we'll do that, and then
Okay.
I'll use it, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Very
I'm
much so.
ready and.
All right, you too, be careful.
Yes, sir.
me, sorry.
You're good. I just heard footsteps, I wanted to check.
No, I told him I could not wait, I gotta go.
What'd you end up getting to drink?
Gatorade.
Okay.
I had to rehydrate after being out, you know.
Oh, there's no doubt.
One was a maintenance guy, and then the other one was, I don't remember who it was. That was another one that come back.
as long as I don't have to get up fast, I'm
Right,
okay.
that's the key part right
That's
there.
why I kinda shifted to this upright position,
Yes. Oof.
and I'll move to the seat here in a minute.
Right, slowly.
Slowly. I think these closed sessions are the best time to get homework done.
There you go. Take advantage of it, what do you think?
That's right.
Ooh, it would have been an opportunity to get some work done if my laptop didn't crash.
Oof. Yeah, these are a little bit harder when you don't have something else to do.
It's all good.
I need like a food truck out here on school board nights.
Right. fall gets here so we can get rid of this sunlight at 8 o'clock at night.
Right. Yeah, I sat down over here just as the sun was like stabbing me in the eye at that angle.
Okay. I just find it difficult at this time of the year to go to sleep when the sun is up.
Yeah.
Like even if you try, it's just like, no.
Just need your beauty
I need a lot of
eye
beauty
things, the eye masks.
Oh goodness, I would be able to do that. That would drive me crazy.
Period, end of story.
Okay, Monday, August 11th, 7:55 PM. We are now back in open session. We need to consider and take possible action to approve the new guardians.
I make a motion, we approve the new guardians.
Ray Watson made the motion to approve the new guardians as presented, seconded by Regina Heath. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Jason Sneed made the motion to adjourn,
Second.
seconded by Nicole Corson. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Who said approve the guardians? I'm sorry.
Me.
Ray first.
And who seconded it?
Regina.
One.
Did you have to repeat that?
You did, I'm very proud of you, that's a big deal.
She had to say it before anybody else did, it was real fast.
Nobody gives her time.
She goes, I did.
Okay, 7:56. Adjourn.
Bye, guys and gals, love y'all big, bye. Thank you for everything you do, sir. Thank you. Good one. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, that's it for me. I'm out of here. The Hill County Republican Party is meeting right now. That's where Gary is. So I will talk to you guys later.